Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 126 of Gains, and this one is titled Progress at the End of the Day. Nothing, he grunted, clearly annoyed by being bleeped out in the chapter beforehand regarding Mineta. The inspector then came out and introduced himself to you and the boys, and thanked you for coming down to the station. We've spoken to the boys, and they all appear to be quite cooperative. Well, mostly. But this is a serious matter, so once the offenders were made aware of the possible consequences of their actions, they were much more likely to cooperate with us, he said. Would you like to talk with any of the boys? We have all the information we need. We would just like to get statements from you three about the state of the health that you found the teens in, and any other information that you can give us about things you heard them talk about, or things that they may have told you that would benefit this case. Yeah, of course, he replied. I don't particularly need to talk with any of them, but we can leave our statements. I did talk to one of the girls that we rescued, and I can tell you what she told us. That would be wonderful, the inspector said with a nod, and then gestured for you and the boys to come through to the adjacent room. After giving your statements and answering questions, you were then allowed to go. It's been a long day, Fat Gum said once you were all back together again in the taxi. We can stay in the cabins in the mountains for the night, if you'd like, or we could pack up and head back to home. But we wouldn't get in until early hours of the morning. Nah, let's stay, you said, feigning extra tiredness. You're right, Fat Gum. It has been a really long day. Yeah, I'm tired too, Kiri added in. You weren't sure if he had remembered the adjoining rooms, or if he was just actually tired, but either way, it was enough to convince Fat Gum that you all needed the rest. Okay, we'll stay in the mountains and then head back into town tomorrow, Fat Gum said, trying to be helpful. And you almost felt bad that you were wanting to stay for other reasons than just being tired. It was a short ride back to the cabins in the mountains. Most of the heroes had gone back home by then, but there were still a few lights on in some of the rooms. It really would be a nice place to stay for an extra night, you thought as the taxi pulled up and you all got out. I'd probably like to come back here for some rest and relaxation, especially when I'm a hero one day and need a bit of a getaway. Once everyone was out of the taxi, you all headed to your respective rooms, wishing each other a good night before entering and closing the doors behind you. You knew it would only be a matter of time before your boys would want to come into your room, so you quickly grabbed your spare clothes and dashed into the ensuite. You had only just stripped your clothes off and gotten into the shower when you heard a knock at your ensuite door. You paused, mid-hair underflow of water wash, and pulled the shower curtain back to look at the door. Hello? You asked the closed door. It's locked. You heard Bakugo call from the other side of the door, and you laughed as he jangled the doorknob. Yeah, because I'm in the shower, you perv. I'll be out in a second, you chuckled. Not fair, he called back, and you laughed again. While you were still in there, though, Kiri was knocking at your adjacent door, and Bakugo went to open it. Oh, hey, bro, Kiri said bashfully, not expecting the blonde to be in your room already. Come in, she's in the shower, Bakugo grunted, opening the door wider for Kiri to enter. Is she? Oh. Okay, Kiri replied, slipping past Bakugo and walking over to your bed and then sitting down on it. It was obvious that he was nervous with it just being him and Bakugo, and he looked down at his fidgeting fingers before looking at Bakugo and then off to his left, unsure of what to do or say. Oi, Bakugo said to him, seeing his restlessness. Stop fidgeting. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just nervous, that's all, Kiri replied, quickly dropping his gaze. Why? Bakugo asked. Because I don't know where I stand with you. I, kind of said some things a little too honestly, and now I don't think that you like me, and... he mumbled, still looking down into his lap. Because he was looking down, he didn't see Bakugo starting to walk over, and only just looked up at the last second as Bakugo grabbed his shirt and shoved him backwards onto the bed, and then crawled over the top of him. You've made it known how you feel about me. What's there to be nervous about? The blonde said, hovering over the redhead and caging him to the bed. Well, I don't know how you feel about me, Kiri replied, his big red eyes begging up into Bakugo's ones. I think I have a crush on you. A manly crush, Kiri admitted. I know, Bakugo replied. So, how do you feel about me? Kiri asked, his poor heartbeat picking up the pace so quickly it was almost hurting to breathe. Next time we're all making out, Bakugo said lowly, if it's dark. I won't care who it is I'm kissing. Kiri's eyes grew wider, and the pink blush across his cheeks deepened. He was happy with that response. That was enough for him to understand where he stood with the blonde. Okay, bro, he replied, his toothy grin of relief spreading across his face quickly. They remained like that for a little longer, and then they both heard the water of the ensuite shut off and knew it wouldn't be long before you'd come out. I haven't showered yet, Kiri suddenly said as Bakugo got off him. It's not very manly of me. I was just so excited to get in here. I haven't either, Bakugo said. I just came straight in, as soon as we got into our rooms. Kiri chuckled. Just then you called out. You could hear both your boys on the other side of the door, in your room. Hey, you both there? You asked. Yeah, we are, Kiri called back. I'm sorry, I haven't showered, Yin. That's okay, I just felt gross so I wanted to shower, and I wanted to check on my wounds too, but they're all covered, so I think they're okay. How are you feeling? You asked him, hurriedly drying yourself and throwing your clothes on before walking out, noting that he had a bandage over the wound that he had sustained on his forehead. You had noticed it beforehand, and had been meaning to ask him how he was, but there'd been so much going on you'd forgotten to do so. And Kat, how are you? Did you get bitten anywhere? You asked your blonde, who was standing beside the bed. No, just scratches, he said. You were lucky. You went in hard twice too, you said with surprise, toweling your hair dry. And there ends chapter 126. Stay tuned for 120. Let's try that again. Chapter 127 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.